Hello again, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm here today to share with you what I'm calling a side flip card. I'm using the Silhouette Seams stamp set. It's a stamp set that I actually have had in my collection and wanting to use for some time. And I'm also using the Many Mates. I'm making an anniversary card with this, and I really liked how the scripty anniversary greeting fit with the sentiments that are in the Silhouette Scenes. So I think they pair well together. And so let's get started. Let me share with you the supplies that you will need in order to make this card. It really is pretty simple. And I will have all of these measurements as well as a link to all of the supplies to order from my website on my blog, justalittle.ink.com. So if you need to reference them, they will be there. So you need a piece of Pool Party cardstock, 7 inches by 5.5 inches. And you'll also need a piece 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches. This is actually the little piece that's cut off from the extra from the half sheet of cardstock. You'll want 2 pieces of Pretty Peacock cardstock. This is measured 3 5/8 inches. And then you'll need some basic white cardstock, 4 inches by 5 1/4 for the inside, and a piece measuring 3.5 by 3.5. And then you also will need a couple pieces of designer series paper. I am using a couple of the pieces from the Fine Art Floral, and these are cut 2.5 inches. So this one, 2.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and then 1.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm using the same piece and just flipping. So let's begin. I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping first. That gets done on this piece and on the inside piece. And I'm going to pull out my Stamparatus because these big solid images I think stamp the best when you are using the Stamparatus, where you have a little more chance to go back over it. They have a tendency to miss parts. So I'm going to put my magnet down. It's a nice solid magnet, and I've made a measurement on my grid paper in 1 inch and over 1 inch to avoid this hinge corner. I'm going to use Pretty Peacock ink. Pretty Peacock is one of our older ink colors, and it will be leaving us soon. It's one of my favorites. I'll be sad to see it go. So I want to ink up. Get a nice inking on my stamp. Okay, I'm going to come down. I've already lined it up, and that's part of what I like about using my Stamparatus. I can make sure everything is exactly like I want it. Lift up. Make sure that I'm not moving. I want just a little more on this corner. Okay, so that I'm going to pull off my front image, and then I'm going to turn over. So I'm going to put in, lining up into the same place, put my magnet down a little further. I'm going to twist and turn. I've placed my happy anniversary so that it'll come in this area. And ink it up again in the same color, simple colors. I just let the cards or the designer series paper dictate what colors I was using. So I'm going to put my magnet away, pull that off, get my Stamparatus out of the way, and then show you how quick this card goes together. So I've scored this piece. So I told you it was 7 inches by 5.5. I've scored it this direction at 2 3/4 of an inch. And so I'm going to fold it over. Use my bone folder, give a nice crisp edge. I can layer my Designer Series paper. Pull out my Stampin' seal. Roll it a little bit if it wants to have a little issue. There we go. So this piece comes in. This is the larger of the two pieces of Designer Series paper. Again, this is the 2.5 by 5.5, or 5 1/4, excuse me. Then I'm going to put my inside greeting in. Line it up. Like so. And then I want to put this piece in. You could use any assortment of colors that you wanted. I liked kind of this textured look. And I want the darker part at the top. And then this is just coming in on this edge of the inside greeting area. It's the part you're going to see when you fold this card over. Okay, so then like so. Except I think I messed up just a little. Okay, we're good. Almost completely messed up. So I told you I had a piece here. This was 1.5 by 5.5. It's that little extra piece, and I scored it at 2 inches from one end. So I'm going to fold that part over. Should have put this on first. But to show you that we are not all lost, I'm going to pull out my liquid glue, my multi-purpose liquid glue. Since I didn't put adhesive all the way in, I'm going to line up and into here. And I wanted it to come down a little ways anyway, about 2 inches, so that I have a little flap that will move back and forth. So we can then attach my greeting or my image to the front. I put my image to my layer. Should be just a little bit bigger. I'm going to attach it on to the front of my card. So I'm just going to put adhesive here. And I found, because this is going to be moving, I want liquid glue here. It takes a little bit to dry, but not bad. So I'm going to take my font, and it gives me just a little more wiggle room by using the liquid glue. So I'm going to line it up along the edge, almost exactly on the edge. Push here, then I'm going to pull it back over. There we go. Another reason to use liquid glue, simply because it gives you a little more wiggle. And then I didn't want to see this, so that's what this other piece is for. So that I can come in, put some liquid glue. So I want to just cover. Wait a minute. So then I'm going to line up the two pieces so that I hide that flap, and it makes it just a little more secure. So then, like so, you end up with a fun fold. So thanks for joining me. If you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be yours. You can order 24 hours a day, anytime, at my website, justalittleinc.stampinup.net. And if you're placing an order of under $150, if you would use the host code, I will also have that host code in the description of this video. You can subscribe to my videos if you have not done so already, And if you haven't been getting the notifications of new videos, you can click the bell and you can start to receive those anytime I come out with another video, which I try to do 2 a week. Sometimes life gets a little crazy, but I try that. Thanks again for joining me. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.